I think that all of us at one time or another in our lives have been asked the question, where do you want to be in 15 years? Where do you want to be in 20 years? Where do you see your life going? Those of us who have had the privilege of watching How I Met Your Mother may be familiar with the front porch test, thanks to Lily. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it's just a scene when you're older, down the road, of on your front porch and who you want to be surrounded by and where you want to be with your life. Our front porch changes throughout our lives, depending on our age and our life circumstances. I mean, when I was in middle school, I probably wanted to be married to Jonathan Taylor Thomas because he was my crush. Or one of my other boyfriends, in high school. I wanted to be a doctor or a nurse or a teacher, and growing up, you start to mature, hopefully, and your ideas about life change. The people that you surround yourself with change. I want to challenge you and me to go past the front porch test, to go past limiting ourselves and where we want to see ourselves in X amount of years. I want to challenge ourselves to take that pressure off of us. Take those expectations off of us. Take the expectations of, well, my front porch is going to consist of so-and-so and this and this. Because when those things don't work out, it's devastating. And it can feel like the end of our lives. So let's take the pressure off and let's choose instead to live our lives in a way where when we're gone, how do we want to be remembered? Let's live our lives in a way where we can reach those goals. Where at our life celebration, people are standing up and speaking on how awesome we are, speaking on how we impacted their lives in a positive way. Let's give them something inspirational to share. Let's give them magic. What does this look like? Well, personally, when I'm gone, I want to be remembered as magic, as one of those rare people who loves to the depth of her soul, who you never want to leave, because being with them makes you feel so special. One of those rare people, those rare human beings who care so much that when you walk into a room that they're in, you can feel the lowest of the low. And by the time you leave, they've made you feel like one of the best, most important human beings on the planet. I want to be an inspiration. I want to practice mercy and grace and forgiveness in such a way that when I'm remembered, people think of me as the embodiment of those things. I want people to be able to read the scriptures of love, love is patient and kind, and think of me. I don't want to be known as the girl who went through 2 divorces because she couldn't get it figured out. I don't want to be the girl who was a single mom for the rest of her life, and that's all anybody knew of me. I want to make a difference in people's lives. And I firmly believe just because my front porch or where I want to be in 50 years has changed since even last year due to relationship changes and circumstance changes, that it's okay. It's not the end of the world, even though it felt like that at the moment when those hard things happened. Because I firmly believe if I continue to live my life in a way where I'm going to be remembered how I want to be remembered, who my front porch consists of, where my front porch takes me, it's going to be where it was meant to be all along. Just because the specific details changed doesn't mean that the whole picture has to change. And to me, that is something that gives me hope for the future. It's something that is worth getting up in the morning for. It gives me a game plan, which makes me that much more determined to see this thing through, no matter how hard it is. So, make me a promise, pinky promise. Those are super important to me. If you find yourself not getting where you expected to get, if you find yourself suffering a loss of a person or a job, and you find yourself so sad and downtrodden because you're the picture of your life where you wanted to be in 50 years, where you thought you were going to be, what you thought your front porch was going to look like, if that changes and you find it overwhelmingly horrible, just take hope in the fact that if you accept my challenge, if you live your life in the way you want to be remembered, it's going to all work out. Be determined, because you've got this. And life is not worth giving up on. It will get better. And if you play your cards right, if you love wholeheartedly, if you treat people the way you want to be treated, if you practice the lifestyle you want to be remembered for, you're going to leave a legacy that is even greater than what you could ever have imagined. And that in itself is a beautiful thing.